Alright, what's up YouTube? We're back. I'm still working on my wife's surprise Mauser for when she gets back from her deployment. I'm already done one video on this. I haven't posted it yet, but I'll probably post a few of these in succession. Maybe even today. So here's what we've got. This is this Hugo Mauser receiver that I opted for. And I know I'll probably catch a lot of flack in the comments because some of the CNR guys are saying, "Oh, what'd you do? Why'd you tear apart a CNR rifle?" But this one was a complete dog, and it's not because of the finish on the receiver. It's that the receiver is actually in pretty good shape, and actually the barrel is in pretty good shape. But the stock looked like it had been sanded by a 6-year-old or something. It was terrible. It wasn't a really good Mauser rifle, and I wasn't really doing anything with it anyway. I already have an M48, an M24-47, and a CZ8, a VZ24. So I don't need another Mauser at the moment, and this one was just going to collect dust anyway because it was a piece of junk. So I decided to build a Mauser for my rifle. I know it's more expensive. I know it's not the most cost-effective way to do that, but I probably, when I get done with this project, I'll have been able to buy maybe even 2 rifles, but that's something to do, and I could tell my wife that I did it. Today what we're doing is we're lapping the bolt lugs. This is another thing I hated about this Hugo rifle is that they blued the bolt. Some people actually like that. I don't know why, but yeah, there it is, the blued bolt. And what I ordered is the Brownell's bolt lapping tool, which you can see is installed already. Now, you will probably have some guys come on here and say that the Baker lapping tool from Midway is probably an easier tool to use. That might be true, and I ordered it, and they sent it to me, and Baker had cut the wrong threads. So not only would it not work in my rifle, I was of the impression that it might even damage the threads if you try to over tighten it or whatever. So I sent it back to Midway and left a really nasty comment to Baker on there about that. So yeah, I don't trust them anymore. I'm not going to buy any more of their products. But with a little mechanical know-how, this tool is not that hard to use. Let me tell you how you do it. If you look here in the front, you'll see this is actually 2 pieces. You have a ring, and this part's threaded. It goes into the receiver, and you just sort of put it in there finger tight. That's no big deal. And on this you have a pin, and on the end of this pin is a plunger. You can actually see the plunger in there. See that silver piece? That is spring-loaded. And that works at the, it's put spring tension on the bolt. And that spring tension is what you use to lap. So there you have it. It's now the actual Baker tool is 1 piece, which is why I would think it might be an easier tool to use. But we'll never know because they sent me the wrong threads. So that one you just sort of screw it in and go. So I've got this lockdown on this vise. You don't need to have a whole lot of pressure on it. This vise isn't even mounted to my thing. I just, as you can see, I've got kind of a catastrophe going on over here. But this is basically just holding it in place so I can keep my other hand free for the camera. I'm doing this with an iPhone, so it's not really the best media, but that's what I got. So anyways, the first thing you got to do is you got to take some of this lapping compound that they have. I don't know if any of you guys do automotive work. If you do valves and heads and stuff like that, you might have some of this lying around. This is 600, and they say not to use anything less than 600. If you have 800, it's probably fine. It'll cut a little bit slower, but it'll leave a nice polish on it. And what you're going to do is you're going to put a dab of this on the back end of the lugs. Now, why the back end? Well, when you get the firing pin and the cocking piece and everything in this bolt, the pressure is actually pushing back. It's not pushing forward. So you don't need to do anything with the front of the lugs. This is all taking place on the back, right back here. So yeah, you really spread it kind of out. Make sure you got a good distribution on there, and you know, that's really all you need. Now, if you read the instructions, like you should do, and probably like most of you won't do after you read the video or watch the video, what they tell you to do is when you put this in, you put it in, but you don't just lock it down like you're chambering around. What you want to do is you want to push it forward and turn it down, and then let the spring tension push it back into the lugs that are, or the lug recesses inside the receiver. Now, the reason you want to do that is because you actually don't want to polish the detent where there's a point where the angle gets more aggressive. I can pull the bolt back out in a minute and show you if I have time. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to smooth that out, because then it won't lock up the way it's supposed to. Now, if you hit it a few times, like if you in the course of working the bolt back and forth, and really you don't need to, it doesn't need to go all the way over and all the way back. This is enough, just a little up and down. They say about the 45-degree position on this rifle, that's actually a little bit too much, but you'll feel it, like when you go over that detent, you'll actually feel it pitch back, and when you do, you'll know you've gone too far. So yep, really just 45 degrees back, and what you want to do is you want to do about 30 to 50 passes, and then check it. But this is really just one of those things. I mean, you can do, obviously I'm doing this one hand, so I'm going really slow, but it doesn't take that long. And like I said, don't freak out if you go over that detent. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to go 90 degrees up, 90 degrees back, 90 degrees up, 90 degrees back, because what it'll do is you'll round out that point, which is not what you're going after. So yeah, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, 50 times, and that's how this tool works. Now, same thing when you take it out. You want to push forward, rotate it up, and then let it fall back for the same reason. So, the thing that you'll have to know about this when you go to use this Brownell's tool is that it is a 3-piece system. And then the third piece is this T-handle right here, which you may or may not need to use, but it goes in there just for ease of handling of this end. Like if you need to get some grip on it, you can do that. But the round piece that threads in is not held in place by anything. It's just hand tight, and that's all you really need. And the pin goes it goes through, but it only goes through one way. So it goes actually that way. You put it in through this way, and it slides through, but it won't come out. Like it won't, when it goes in this way, it won't back out because it's got a lip on the other end. Now, to lock it down, you tighten that little set screw right there in the ring. This one right here, it comes with a little set screw, and that's what keeps the pressure on it. So when you're initially setting it up, this sort of free floats a little bit, and you push the bolt forward, and you close the bolt handle all the way, and you push this back, and you lock down that set screw, and then it's in place. You don't have to touch it. Every once in a while, I've noticed this starts to back out, so if you just give it a little bit of a twist, it'll lock back in. And it's actually doing a pretty good job so far. I'll take it out and show you guys, what's going on with the recesses, and you can see. Hang on, let me wipe this off a bit. Now they say when you do this that if you have less than 95%, keep going. Now I've heard other guidance on that before, but this is what comes on the Brownell's package. So let's see what we got. Let me try to focus this a bit. That ain't it. There we go. Now you see I got a little bit on the edge right there. I wouldn't call that 95%. I would call that somewhere in the ballpark of 75, maybe 65. Now don't worry about that stuff down on the top corner. That's what I'm talking about. That's those lugs. Now if you see how it pitches down a little bit, that's actually, let me get you a better focus. But yeah, you see how it angles down? That's where it catches the lug recesses inside the receiver to lock it down. So yep, I'm going to keep going on this, but you can see what a good job it's doing. This side's definitely better. But I might even call that 90 or 95%. So that side's done, but this one's not, so we'll keep plugging away, and that's how you lap Mauser bolt lugs. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, let me know in the comments.